In the first half, Josh Allen didn't see the field that well. He was still trying to figure out what the Dolphins were trying to do to him. We see that here early in the second quarter, but it's another example of Allen just using his tools in his toolbox to make a play. So the Bills send out a 3-by-1 set and set up an all verticals concept with the 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen, basically running vertical routes. You're going to have Robert Foster here in the slot running the deep over here. So this is Foster right here, and he's running that deep over, and you're going to have Benjamin, who's the solo wide receiver, to the top of the screen running just a hitch route right at the sticks. Now this route combination, this route concept is very, very good versus cover 3. But we'll see once the play rolls, the Dolphins actually play cover 1. And that's okay. But I want you to watch the mind games that the Dolphins players are playing with Josh Allen. Watch Kiko Alonso, watch TJ McDonald, and watch Bryce McCain right here prior to the snap. Because right here, you see McDonald and McCain are switching. McDonald's initially on Foster, then he bumps outside to the tight end Jason Kroom. Allen is watching it the entire time, and he even points out McCain almost as if McCain's going to blitz him, which he did a couple times in this game. What ends up happening is they settle in on their man, and you'll see the ball is snapped. You're going to have McCoy coming out of the backfield running a Texas route, but watch Allen's eyes. Out of this 3-by-1 set, his initial eyes are going to his left, and he's trying to confirm a coverage here. Obviously, you have the deep single high safety. Normally, versus a trip set to the field, this safety would probably be more on this hash to help there, but they're shading him to the boundary side of the field. So Allen's looking to get an idea on what kind of coverage that the Dolphins are playing versus this isolated receiver, Kelvin Benjamin. And you'll see Fitzpatrick throws a nice blow to Benjamin, disrupts that release, and it's a man turn. So it looks like man coverage. And you can see even the linebacker is one-on-one versus that Texas route by McCoy. So now Allen's scanning the field here. And this play, if this were cover 3, this could be a touchdown to Robert Foster. I mean, this is one of the cover 3 match beater plays of the year. And if Allen had time, and if Allen understood the coverage initially, he could have set this play up a lot better. Because instead of looking to that isolated receiver, he should know it's man coverage just based on the look of this. And even that quick glance, he should know immediately, boom, this is man coverage. Now what I need to do is I need to use my eyes to hold this safety or to move him. If he could somehow move this safety this direction, and you'll see once I roll it, this safety back there is very reactive to where Allen is looking. If he can move that safety just a bit and still have just enough time, Foster is probably going to be wide open somewhere in the front or back corner of that end zone. I mean, he has separation, and that's what speed has done for this offense. It's gotten Allen opportunities down the field when guys want to just play man coverage and force Allen to hold on to the ball. Guys are going to be able to separate. Now Allen has to help this play. Allen has to do a better job pre to post snap and using his eyes to manipulate that safety so that he can float it to Robert Foster. And Foster does a good job. You'll see him, once he clears that slot cornerback, he gets his eyes on the safety to sell vertically. So he's using his eyes to hold this safety. He's trying to help out this route. So he's using his eyes to tell the safety, hey, I'm going vertical. But no, he's actually bending it towards the back pylon. Let's take a look at the offensive line, because Teller and Dawkins have trouble in this pass protection as the Dolphins act like they're blitzing, but they're actually spying Allen with that 5th player, Kiko Alonso. And Dawkins and Teller just struggle with their man side of the protection. They're unable to secure those 2 defenders, and Allen is forced to drop his eyes, climb the pocket, and although he does look down the field, he turns his shoulders. There's really no one open here. This floater to possibly LaShawn McCoy, who may be breaking over here, is a tough throw. So he's smart. He knows he has some green. It's him versus Alonso. Makes a couple moves, and he's able to pick up the first down. And that's something that he did a lot of, versus the Dolphins, sometimes warranted, where he had to pull the ball down and run it. So we'll see the pass protection here between Teller and Dawkins. That's the man side of the protection. You're going to see the center is sliding. So these three players, Groy, Searles, and Mills, are sliding to the right. That means Teller and Dawkins are in man protection. They are on man versus those two players. And you'll see a nice little twist game here, a freestyle between those two rushers. And it forces Allen to drop his eyes. But, I mean, he does a good job. I mean, he's scanning in rhythm pretty well. But see, as soon as he's got to use his eyes, as soon as he scans left and says, okay, look, I just looked at Benjamin, he's in man coverage. I just looked at this linebacker, he's in man coverage. He needs to get quicker with his eyes to hold that safety. I mean, if he has to, he needs to stay front side a little more. You see him, it's just too quick. It's boom, boom. And see, he doesn't have time. So when Sean McDermott talked about, he thought that Allen did a good job of, trying to play from the pocket, and the timing was just off a couple times. This is one of those plays. But having a guy like Allen that is mobile, that's why he's going to create issues for defenses. And even when the defense accounts for Allen with a spy here, he's going to find an outlet. When those two guys twist and cross over here, that's going to create rushing lanes. So even though his eyes and his eye discipline wasn't good here, he's able to find an outlet. He's able to extend the play with his legs and make a move on Kiko Alonso to get the first down for the Bills. So there were some plays where, yeah, Allen probably pulled it down too early. I don't think this is one of them, but it's still a play where he needs improvement. He needs to use his eye discipline. He should understand that the coverage is man, and he should be using his eyes a little bit better on this play. Now, no harm, no foul done here because, again, he was able to pick it up with his legs. But just little things that Brian Dable was talking about that he needs to work on.